let me ask your thoughts on these reports. Does it make sense to you that Cryan would be on his way out? Does it make sense to you that Paul Achleitner and the board would want to be looking for a new CEO?
Yes, it makes totally sense. We already have predicted that beginning of January in our annual interview. John Cryan may be a good person, but he's not the right guy on top of Deutsche Bank. The bank needs somehow a conservative German corporate banker that brings trust back, A, to clients and B, to employees. And they did not have such a person since the last century, actually. And I think the main problem in Deutsche Bank is Mr. Paul Achleitner. He implemented all the CEO in the last years who made it happen that Deutsche Bank, former one of the best banks in the world, is still somehow distressed. And it's, for me, simply impossible how you can run a bank in one of the wealthiest economies in the world, with one of the strongest industries in the world, without making profit. Almost every bank has restructured well in the last 10 years, but Deutsche Bank not.
Let me show you a chart, or show our viewers a chart and explain it to you. It's called Loss Go, a function on the Bloomberg that you can use to see job cuts. And although the Deutsche Bank chart is littered with job cuts, I mean, constantly cutting headcount, the main complaint I hear from other CEOs about the job Cryan does is that he just isn't cutting costs the way he needs to. Is this the problem at Deutsche Bank? Do you need someone to come in and really clamp down and cut costs?
Yeah, I mean, the head cost cuttings happen in the branches and stuff like that, in the bread and butter business. But the investment banking is still so strong within the bank that this is the real cost. Only a few people earn or spend most of the money, but do not make money any longer. And they have a very strong party, let's say it this way, in the bank, which has to be, to be very honest, broken up. And that's why I said the corporate banking has to take charge of the future of the bank again.
Who do you think would make a better candidate here, Stefan?
I mean, my favorite candidate is always Mr. Weber, the former head of the Deutsche Bundesbank, or even the actual head of the Deutsche Bundesbank. These are people where employees and especially companies and stuff like that would have trust again. And then have a look at, i.e., all the IPOs last year in Germany. In none of it, the Deutsche Bank played even a minor role. And the IPO of DGWA last week was actually a disaster. So,
what was your problem? What was your problem with that IPO? Was it the pricing of it?
I mean, it's the pricing. It's the one and only asset, a real asset Deutsche Bank has. It is the fact that it's not that it is a GmbH and Co. KG, so the investors get only non-voting rights and stuff like that. That's not what you do. It's in favor of Deutsche Bank, but not in favor of the investors.
I wonder if you think that any of the other candidates that we've heard about in the news, reportedly the board has gone to Goldman Sachs, the board has gone to Standard Chartered, the board has gone to some of the other places around here, around the city of London, to look for a replacement. Does that make any sense to you, or do you really think they need to stick with a German?
I think it doesn't make sense at all, and I don't believe that one of these people is going to take over this thing. We need, as I said, a German corporate banker. Otherwise, the crisis will continue.
Is John Cryan, you think, aware of this and ready to go? I mean, he has been at the helm there for, I think, 3 restructuring attempts now. Is this going to be a peaceful handover?
Yes, of course. Deutsche Bank is responsible for that article. That's how you do it in these days. No one has to talk to Cryan. He reads it in the news. He feels it. He's aware of it, and he's ready to step down.
Why not take an internal candidate? They have James von Moltke. They have Schenk in there. They have.
They are part of the problem. Somebody out from outside, a real powerful person has to come in. All internal candidates have not been the power, let's say, for internal revolution. That all doesn't make sense. The bank is ready for a strong cut, and the big shareholders will ask for that.
All right, Stefan, just to make it clear, DGWA is a consulting firm, and you advise investment firms on issues like this. You're in no way connected to the search for a new CEO.
We are not connected to that, unfortunately. Actually, I'm on my way in a train to Frankfurt, but I'm not going to Deutsche Bank now.